Good morning, dear friend. Before your feet touch the floor, and before the noise of this Friday starts asking things from you, remember this. You do not have to have the whole day figured out before the day begins. Maybe your mind is already moving faster than the morning itself. You are thinking about the meeting you have later, the bills that still need to be paid, the conversation you have been putting off, the person you are worried about, or that decision you wish someone could simply make clear for you. Some mornings feel peaceful. Others begin with a quiet pressure in your chest, that feeling that there are too many things to handle and not enough certainty about how any of them will turn out. And sometimes nobody around you even knows you are carrying it. But before you reach for every problem, reach for God. Before you give your attention to the notifications, the schedule, the headlines, and everyone who needs something from you, give God these first moments. This morning is not just another square on the calendar. It is a new day you have never walked through before, and there will be moments today you cannot predict. There may be changes you did not plan for. There may also be kindness you never expected, an answer you have been waiting for, or a door you could not have opened on your own. You simply cannot see all of it from where you are standing right now. God can. That is why putting God first is more than a morning habit. It is an act of trust. It is saying, Lord, I have plans, but I need your wisdom. I have responsibilities, but I need your strength. I have questions, but I need your peace. I know what I want to happen today, but more than that, I want you to guide me through whatever actually happens. So, dear friend, do not carry Friday before Friday has even unfolded. God sees the road ahead. He sees the conversation before you enter it. He sees the decision before you have to make it. He sees what you cannot see yet. You are not stepping into this day alone. God is with you. So for these next few moments, let the pressure loosen its grip. Let tomorrow wait. Let yesterday stay where it belongs. This morning, we are going to place today in God's hands, one concern, one decision, one step at a time. And as we place this day in God's hands, there is something we need to admit. We often put enormous pressure on ourselves to know what comes next. We want the right answer before the question is even asked. We want to know whether the job opportunity will work out, whether the money will be enough, whether the relationship will improve, whether our children will be okay, whether the thing we have been praying about will finally change. We want clarity now, but life rarely gives us the whole picture at once. Sometimes you wake up knowing exactly what needs to be done, and sometimes you wake up with 10 thoughts competing for your attention before you have even had your first cup of coffee. That uncertainty can wear on you. It can make a small decision feel heavy. It can make waiting feel longer than it really is. It can even convince you that because you do not know what to do, you are somehow falling behind. But you are not required to solve every part of your life this morning. God is not asking you to carry next week while you are still living today. He is inviting you to trust Him with the step that is in front of you now. This is why morning prayers to start your day can become such a meaningful place of surrender. Prayer reminds us that uncertainty does not mean abandonment. Not knowing does not mean God has stopped working. A closed door does not always mean you missed your chance. A delay does not always mean you have been forgotten. Sometimes we simply cannot see enough of the road yet, and that is uncomfortable. I know. We like answers. We like timelines. We like knowing that if we make one choice, everything afterward will work exactly as expected. But faith often grows in the space where certainty ends. So today, if you are carrying questions about your work, your finances, your family, your future, or a decision that keeps circling through your mind, bring those questions to God without pretending you are calm when you are not. Tell Him, Father, I do not know what comes next, but I believe you will give me wisdom for the next step. I do not have every answer, but I trust that I am not walking without your presence. And if that is the faith you are choosing today, write this simple declaration in the comments. God will guide my steps today. Let those words become more than a comment. Let them become the posture of your heart. You do not need to see the entire road. You only need enough faith to take the next step with God. Because where your understanding reaches its limit, His wisdom does not. And that is where trust begins to become real. Not when every question has been answered, but when you can stand in the middle of uncertainty and still believe that God knows the way. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 and 6 tells us to trust in the Lord with all our heart, not to lean on our own understanding, to acknowledge Him in all our ways, and He will direct our paths. Those words matter on mornings like this because our understanding has limits. We see what is happening right now. God sees what we cannot see yet. We notice the delay, but He knows what the delay may be protecting us from or preparing us for. We notice the door that did not open, while He sees another path we have not discovered. And yes, it can be difficult to trust when you want an answer today. It can be frustrating when you have prayed, waited, tried to make a wise decision, and still feel unsure. There are moments when you wish God would simply place a clear sign in front of you and tell you exactly what to do. But His guidance does not always arrive as a complete map. Sometimes it comes as enough light for one step, enough peace for one decision, enough wisdom for one conversation, enough strength to wait one more day. That is still guidance. You may not know how everything will come together, but God does. You may not understand why this season has taken longer than you expected, but God has not lost sight of you. He knows your responsibilities. He knows the financial concern you keep calculating in your mind. He knows the family situation you cannot fix by yourself. He knows the decision you are afraid of getting wrong. God sees you, and He is with you here. So let your heart rest in this truth for a moment. You do not have to know everything God knows in order to follow Him. You only need to stay close enough to recognize His direction when the next step becomes clear. Trust Him when the road makes sense. Trust Him when it does not. Trust Him when the answer comes quickly. Trust Him while you are still waiting. Father, teach me not to depend only on what I can see. Give me wisdom for what is in front of me, and peace about what is still beyond my view. When my thoughts become crowded with questions, remind me that your vision reaches farther than mine. I cannot see the whole road, Lord, but I trust the one who can. So now, Father, I place what I can see and what I cannot see into your hands. I surrender the plans I have already made for today, the appointments on my calendar, the work waiting for me, the errands, the phone calls, the conversations, the responsibilities at home, and even the little things that seem too ordinary to bring before you. I bring them anyway, because I do not want to invite you into only the difficult parts of my life. I want your presence in all of it. Lord, I may have a plan for how this day should unfold, but I know how quickly plans can change. One unexpected message can shift the entire afternoon. One delay can test my patience. One conversation can leave me wondering what I should say next. So if something changes today, help me not to immediately assume that everything is going wrong. Remind me that you are still present when the schedule changes. You are still faithful when my expectations are interrupted. You are still guiding me when I cannot immediately understand what you are doing. Father, bless what is good in my plans, but correct what needs to change. If I am moving too quickly, slow me down. If fear is making me hesitate when I need to move forward, give me courage. If I am trying to force something that is not right for me, give me the humility to release it. I do not want to spend this day fighting for control and then asking you to bless whatever I decided without you. I want to listen. I want to notice. I want to follow. These peaceful prayers are not an escape from real responsibilities. They are where I remember that I was never meant to carry every responsibility as though everything depended on me alone. God is with me. God sees me. God knows what this day requires, and that gives my heart room to breathe again. So, Lord, take my schedule and shape it according to your wisdom. Take my words before I speak them. Take my decisions before I make them. Take the places I will go and the people I will meet. Be present in the ordinary moments and in the unexpected ones. I surrender the outcome I have been trying to predict. I surrender the answer I have been trying to force. I surrender the pressure to make everything happen on my timetable. Go ahead of me into every room I will enter. Prepare my heart before difficult conversations. Give me patience when things move slowly, and discernment when something requires my attention. I have plans, Father, but I would rather be redirected by you than arrive exactly where I planned without your peace. So I place this day before you with open hands. Lead me from here. Lead me from here, Father, especially in the moments when the next step is not obvious. There will be choices today that seem simple, and there may be others that leave me wondering what is wise, what is necessary, and what can wait. In those moments, quiet the pressure that tells me I must decide everything immediately. Give me enough clarity for what is in front of me. Guide my thoughts before worry turns one question into 20. Guide my words before frustration speaks for me. Guide my decisions when two options both seem reasonable. Guide my steps when I cannot tell whether I should move forward, wait a little longer, or simply let something go. Lord, I need your wisdom in practical places too. At work, help me recognize what deserves my attention and what is only distracting me. With money, keep me from making choices out of fear or impatience. In my family, help me listen before I respond. In difficult conversations, show me when to speak and when silence would be wiser. If an opportunity appears today, do not let excitement rush me ahead of your peace. If something I hoped for does not happen, do not let disappointment convince me that you have forgotten me. Sometimes guidance looks like an open path. Sometimes it looks like a reason to wait. And sometimes, I think, we only understand later why a certain direction never felt right. That is difficult for people like us, who want clear answers right away. Still, Father, I would rather wait with you than hurry without wisdom. I would rather take one steady step in the right direction than run toward something simply because I am tired of waiting. You see what I cannot see. You understand motives I cannot read, consequences I cannot predict, and opportunities I do not even know are coming. So make my heart sensitive to your direction today. When peace settles over the right decision, help me notice it. When something feels wrong beneath the surface, give me patience to examine it instead of brushing that concern aside. When I become confused, bring me back to what is true. I am not abandoned in uncertainty. I am not expected to know everything. You are with me here. Guide my mind, guide my words, guide my choices, guide my steps. And when I cannot see very far ahead, give me the faith to walk faithfully with the light you have given me for this moment. And if the light you give me leads away from something I wanted, Father, help me trust you there too. I admit that redirection is not always easy to receive. Sometimes I pray for guidance, but deep down I am hoping you will simply approve the direction I have already chosen. I become attached to an outcome. I picture how something should work, when it should happen, and what the answer should look like. Then when a door stays closed or the timing changes, disappointment can make me question everything. Lord, free me from that kind of fear. If a path is not right for me, give me the grace to stop forcing it. If a relationship, opportunity, commitment, or plan is pulling me away from the peace and wisdom you are giving me, help me recognize it. Close what needs to close, redirect what needs to change, and when you do, keep me from treating every closed door like a personal failure. Some things end because their season is finished. Some delays create space for better decisions. Some answers take longer because there are pieces moving that I cannot see. I may not understand the reason today, and I do not need to pretend that waiting feels easy. It does not. Waiting can make a person tired. It can make you compare your life with people who seem to be moving faster. It can make you wonder whether you missed something. But Father, when those thoughts come, bring me back to your faithfulness. Remind me that being redirected does not mean being rejected. Remind me that waiting does not mean being forgotten. God sees you. God is with you, even here, especially in the place where the answer has not arrived yet. Lord, if you close one way, keep my heart open to another. If you ask me to wait, give me patience without bitterness. If you tell me to move, give me courage without panic. If you remove something I thought I needed, teach me not to chase it, simply because letting go feels uncomfortable. I choose your wisdom over my urgency. I choose your peace over the pressure to keep up with everyone else. I choose your direction over my need to control the outcome. And if today brings an unexpected change, help me ask a better question than, why is this happening to me? Teach me to ask, Lord, where are you leading me through this? I trust that you can guide me through an open door, a closed door, a delay, a change of plans, or a quiet season where nothing seems to move. Keep my hands open, Father. I do not want to hold so tightly to my own way that I miss the better path you are showing me. And as you keep my hands open, Father, keep my heart close to you. I do not want to spend this day searching for signs while forgetting the comfort of your presence. Guidance is important, but I need more than directions. I need you. Walk with me through the ordinary hours ahead, through the moments that seem important and the ones that seem almost forgettable. Be with me when I get in the car, when I sit down to work, when I answer the phone, when I prepare a meal, when I check on someone I love, and when I finally have a quiet moment to myself. Remind me that you are not only present in church or during prayer, you are with me in the middle of real life. When work becomes stressful, steady my thoughts. When someone speaks in a way I did not expect, help me respond with grace, instead of letting one difficult moment shape my entire day. When I feel rushed, slow my spirit, even if my schedule cannot slow down. When I feel alone in a crowded room, remind me that your presence has not left me. There are burdens people carry quietly. A parent worries about a child while trying to finish the workday. Someone checks a bank account again, hoping there will be enough. Someone waits for a phone call, an answer, an opportunity, or simply some good news. Father, you see all of it. You see the things we explain to others and the things we keep to ourselves because we are tired of trying to explain them. This is where daily faith becomes real, not only in big moments, but in choosing to remember that you are near while life is happening. So walk with me when I feel confident, and walk with me when I feel unsure. Stay near when things go according to plan, and remind me of your presence when they do not. I do not need every hour to be easy in order to know that I am cared for. I do not need every question answered in order to have peace. You are here. That is my relief. You are here when I understand. You are here when I am confused. You are here in the waiting, in the working, in the conversations, and in the silence. Father, let that truth settle deeper than my worry today. I am not walking through these hours by myself. Wherever this day takes me, let me recognize that I am walking there with you. Then stay close to me, Father, and order what happens within me before I become concerned about everything happening around me. Order my thoughts when they begin running ahead into situations that have not happened. Order my words when stress makes me impatient. Order my choices when emotions are loud and wisdom feels quiet. I give you permission to interrupt my assumptions, change my pace, and turn my attention toward what truly matters. Go before me into every place I will enter today. Walk beside me through every responsibility. Remain near when I am tired, distracted, or tempted to carry more than this moment requires. Lord, guide me in my work. Help me do what needs to be done with care, honesty, and a clear mind. Guide me with my finances. Give me wisdom to know what to spend, what to save, what can wait, and what I should not worry about today. Guide my relationships. Help me hear what people are really saying instead of preparing my response before they finish speaking. Give me patience with my family, kindness with strangers, and discernment around the people whose intentions I do not fully understand. Guide the opportunities that come toward me. I do not want to say yes simply because something looks exciting, and I do not want fear to make me say no to something good. Give me peace that is stronger than pressure. Give me wisdom that is stronger than impulse. Give me faith that is stronger than uncertainty. And Father, watch over the people I love as they move through their own day. Be near my family when I cannot be near them. Give them wisdom in their decisions, peace in their minds, and strength for whatever responsibilities they carry. There are so many things I cannot personally manage, and I am finally admitting that trying to manage them all only leaves me exhausted. So I release them to you. Go before me, walk beside me, stay near me, lead my thoughts, lead my words, lead my decisions, lead me through the expected and the unexpected. If something changes suddenly, steady me. If an answer arrives, help me receive it wisely. If I must continue waiting, keep frustration from taking over my heart. If something wonderful happens, remind me to stop and thank you instead of rushing immediately to the next concern. I trust you with the parts of this day I understand, and I trust you with the parts I cannot predict. I do not need to control every hour to walk through it with confidence. Your presence is enough for this moment. Your wisdom is enough for the next decision. Your grace is enough for the next step. So lead me, Father, and let my life today move at the pace of your peace. And as I move forward from this prayer, Father, let your peace remain with me. I do not want to leave this moment and immediately return to carrying everything as if I had never placed it in your hands. Help me remember what I have declared today. God will guide my steps today. When uncertainty returns, I will remember it. When a decision feels difficult, I will remember it. When plans change, and I cannot understand why, I will remember that your wisdom reaches beyond what I can see. I choose to trust you. I choose to follow you. I choose not to rush ahead simply because waiting makes me uncomfortable. I choose not to lean only on my own understanding. I will listen for your wisdom, receive your correction, and remain open when you lead me somewhere different from where I expected to go. Father, bless the person praying with me right now. Bless their home with peace. Bless their family with grace and unity. Give them wisdom in their work, clarity in their decisions, patience in their waiting, and strength for every responsibility they carry. Let this powerful morning prayer remain in their heart long after these words are finished. May they recognize your presence in ordinary moments today, in a quiet drive, a conversation, an unexpected change, or a small answer they almost overlooked. And if this time of prayer has brought comfort to your morning, you are always welcome to walk with us again. A simple like and subscription helps this community continue meeting here each day in prayer. And for anyone who feels personally led to support this channel with a gift, thank you. Your generosity helps the people who prepare and create these prayers continue making a quiet place where others can seek God each morning. There is never any pressure. Your presence here, your prayers, and the time you share with this community already mean more than you may realize. Father, as we leave this moment, let us carry less fear and more trust, less pressure and more peace. Go with us into the hours ahead. Keep our hearts attentive when you whisper, patient when you ask us to wait, and willing when you show us the next step. We may not know everything this day will bring, but we know we do not enter it alone. May the grace of God cover you. May His peace settle over your heart. May His wisdom guide your choices, and may His faithful presence remain with you wherever you go. In Jesus' name, Amen.